Okay, call the meeting to order. And we will start with our educational showcase.
Yeah, our Liberty Partnership Program that's housed down at the Greater Amsterdam School District. Our staff, our full-time staff are here tonight. And Maria, would you mind letting them in? Please? They're going to tell you a little bit about their program.
Thank you. Okay, you guys are on.
All right. Want me to stand over here?
Wherever you want.
Okay, good. All right, so I'm Kelly. I'm the Director of Liberty Partnership Programs here at FMCC. I've been the director since September. September 1st was my first official day. And prior to that, I was a counselor for LPP at the middle school. This is Dana. She's our counselor at the high school. And then Aiden is our middle school program director / success coach at the middle school. And Jenna is the program director or coordinator. You can have my job. Program coordinator / success coach at the high school. Next, and you'll see their pictures. Oh, there it is. All right, so we serve 360 students in the district. We have 210 students at the high school and 150 students at Lynch Middle School, in roughly 50 students per grade. Students can join in 6th grade and they stay with us until their 12th grade. We walk them through the process of getting through middle school as well as graduating high school. In 2022-23 school year, 97% of our seniors graduated. And 2023-2024, 100% of our seniors graduated. The state rate is 86%. So these guys are doing a lot of good work in their schools. So on top of our coordinators and counselors, we also have 4 part-time success coaches / tutors. And Maureen, we just hired, so we're finally fully staffed. Very excited about that. Angela, Heidi, and Patrick. And everyone helps. We help our kids social, emotionally, academically, behaviorally, and kids have to be high risk of dropping out of high school. And there's like 10 or 11 different factors. Some of them include parents who never graduated high school, economic status, behavioral and social emotional stuff happening in the schools, peer influence. So all those things can qualify them to enter into our program. So we also put on a summer program. It's 6 weeks during the summer. It's a lot of fun. The kids get to do different things that they normally would be able to do, but we really focus on leadership, cultural activities, community projects, and they're also able to participate in classes. This year we paired up with Smart Scholars. Then that allowed the 10th and 11th graders that were also Smart Scholars to complete a college course here on campus. And then we also do field trips this year. Our big field trips were the Mountain Adventure rope course, SUNY Schenectady Community College, and then Northampton Beach, where the kids actually did some cleaning up on the beach, as well as had a fun beach day. And this is what we're currently doing. So we have at the high school, they're doing a lot of workshops, and they did SUNY application weeks where they help kids apply to SUNY during SUNY's free application weeks that they do every year, which actually turned out really good. And not only did our staff put that on, it kind of led the high school staff to also participate in that. So that was a really good connection we were able to make. The workshops we've done workshops on studying. Dana, I can't remember.
What type of learner you are to help kids identify how they might learn better in school. There was something on resume writing today, and then just like team building and leadership skills.
And those, I think we had about 30 plus kids participate in those workshops at the high school. And the high school has been great. They actually just built a new student center that they've been allowing us to use for all these workshops, which has been excellent. The middle school did a thankful turkey wall, and then we also did a thankful wall at the high school. We have a field trip to New York ISO planned and just before Christmas break. we're doing a care package drive with Nathan Latower Nursing Home. They have 52 residents, so we're trying to put together 52 packages. That's all student-led. So some of the service projects, we're really trying to get the students involved and the students to lead them, because those are all skills you can use the rest of your life, right? And so we also are putting together a new tutoring club / peer tutoring program, which is going to be a lot of work up front, but hopefully more self-led. Dana is actually in charge of a food pantry we have at the high school. And currently 13 families and more keep being added. And we're actually hoping to expand that to the middle school. And then that's on top of all the daily support we give to students in the classrooms. So looking forward this year, we're really focused on community and connection, connecting to our partners, FMCC, Amsterdam High School, Catholic Charities, etc., and just making that community around these kids so they have the support that they need to finish high school. Doing a lot of student-led service projects. That's something I'm kind of big on. It's something I like. I think it teaches skills, builds community, helps kids engage in their community and buy into their communities. A lot of career exploration, social emotional development, and connecting with our families. So every year we put on this big summit, not just this campus. There's 51 projects across the state, and we all put this summit together, and it's like a leadership summer. I think this year is going to focus on social emotional development. So here's a short video where four of our students were featured.
Culinary victory you've always loved now has a price you'll love even more, starting at $8.98.
There's so many qualities that make good leader. Having the ability to communicate information, being able to develop trust.
I think we should be supportive of being able to think independently and not having to follow somebody else's training to.
Having a love of your people and to complete them, not for your own political gain.
Somebody who knows how to consider the opinions of other people and also who knows how to make themselves heard without talking to others.
You are a leader.
So first round will be two people, one boy, one girl. First person with their foot over the tree line. Get ready. 2, 1.
Normally would be intimidated, right? Having 51 different programs, each program has 4 students. Instead, they all came together, they supported each other, they encouraged each other, and they taught me a lot. They taught me being uniquely, unapologetically being yourself. And I admire them.
The honor, they just came together as a team and work so much we have to cooperate and have communication. I think right now we got like responsibility, make sure everything's okay, make sure everyone's active. Each member has grown as an individual from this amazing experience that helped me as your life.
One vote for red. Three votes for red. Not vote for blue. There's so many qualities.
So overall, there's about 17,000 students across the state that participate in different Liberty Partnerships program. Any questions?
Any questions?
How do students end up What's like the outreach in the schools? Is it identified by like faculty and staff, or I've got kids at the middle school and high school. Is it like, I know there's different orientation nights where there's different programs that are offered. It's like, how do you find you get the most involvement from kids and families?
Most of our kids are staff referred or referred by the counselor, social workers, and these guys work closely with both those departments in the schools. There's also self-referral, and then we try to participate in as many high school and middle school activities to put ourselves out there and talk to parents. Like we were at both the open houses, just to kind of reach out to parents. We do have a few of our students had parents who were also part of the program, so they already value the program. So any way we can get students that need help.
That was going to be my question. Do you have ones that come back who have been your successful high school graduates that then come back and talk to the ones that are there now?
So we actually have one that's going to be coming back hopefully in the next couple of months. We've actually used her as a vendor for our program to help with supplies and stuff, and she was one of our students. I want to say like 10 years ago, and so she's going to come in and talk to the students. So yeah, and at the middle school, I think he actually may be at the high school now. One of the hall monitors used to always be like, oh yeah, I was an LPP. I remember what it was like. And so, yes, we do have students that come back. Super.
I just want to say that was an excellent video, but what I really appreciated is all of the things that you're doing with these young elementary kids, we actually do here at the college too. So it's nice that you're getting them started and seeing what's out there, and so that they're kind of adjusted to the system already when they come up to something like this. It looks like you're doing a great job. And what is that field trip you're going to? Where is that place? What is that?
New York ISO. They are a company that manages the electrical grid. Yeah,
Independent system operator.
System operator. Yeah, not very many people know that actually. Yeah. Yeah. So they actually really enjoy giving tours to high school and college students. So they were happy to have us.
Any other questions?
Thank you for the good work you do.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me talk.
Doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Move on to any public comment, evening comments tonight. Now we'll move on to approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of October 17th. Do I have a motion? Motion by Matt, seconded by Ty Bay. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, hearing none, motion passed. We'll go into reports. Just have one thing I want to bring before the board. I don't know if we all got this or not, but came out today. NYCCT Executive Committee, Chief of Staff, President, Assistant Secretaries to the Board has come to the attention of the NYCCT Executive Committee that SUNY is requesting all presidents' contracts per the recent SUNY resolution. It is NYCCT's position that we do not accept the resolution and recommends that the board request that the contracts are not sent to SUNY. If you have any questions, please direct them to Laura LaFontaine at NYCCT. So what they're saying is, Chancellor wants all the contracts between the board and the president of colleges, be Dr. Truckamiller and us, and they're saying they'll give it to him. And I'm in agreement with that. Why? I'm not giving.
Has SUNY made a formal request?
Pardon?
Has SUNY made a formal request to us yet?
Request yet?
They contacted the chief financial officers. They did not contact the presidents. They contacted the SUNY finance office, contacted the finance officers and asked them to submit those. That's how we were all alerted to this.
Didn't we get something on this recently?
Yeah, we just recently voted
Right.
on a resolution that
Right.
we control the hiring and the conditions, in terms of conditions of the president. So why SUNY is asking for this?
Well, I mean, is Dr. Truckmiller's contract with us something that's subject to FOIL? So I mean, if me as a citizen could write a letter to the chief administrative officer here and get it in 20 days, I don't understand why we would think withholding it from SUNY would do anything other than just make them angry. If it were something that were private or protected in some way, but if anyone in the public has access to that document, it seems as though it would be a Pyrrhic victory for us to say we denied giving this to SUNY when we would be legally obligated to give it to anyone who asked for it. So I think it sounds to me, and potentially legitimately so, that community colleges and maybe other institutions may feel as though the new SUNY chancellor is stepping into territory that SUNY chancellors have in the past, and that we're trying to protect our territory. And I 100% respect that. But my thought would be this is the time that we should pick our battle. And if it's otherwise accessible legally to someone else, it would seem that there's no basis to justify us not turning it over to SUNY, despite I don't understand why they would take that position if SUNY could get their hands on it one way or another.
I don't understand why they're asking for it if the reason that they wanted it was to increase transparency was one of the reasons that they said they were asking for it. And as Bethany just said, anybody, it's transparent. Anybody in the public, anybody from SUNY, anybody from anywhere can see this contract. So I guess I'm a little bit cautious on the motive of why it is that they are interested in all of the college's contracts. They can get them, but what's the motive behind why they're doing this?
If we open the can of worms, it's not going to end here. And this, that, and that, and that. It's stronger.
My concern is, it says all president's contracts, the terminology. Is it just a copy of the contract they want, or do they want the original contracts?
They're just asking for a copy. They're just asking for
I'll speculate that, SUNY in some way is going to want to regulate how community colleges, I mean, what presumably comes next is this is what has to be in a contract and this is what we'll allow and don't allow. But I think the solution is to collectively bargain with SUNY about the rules. I assume that there's some ability to weigh in during proposed rulemaking or something. I don't know that this is the fight to pick. That's my opinion.
Maybe we need more clarification from NYCCT.
I mean, at this point, they've simply asked us for these contracts as they ask us for many things. And if my assumption is if we say no, then they'll file a FOIL request like any private citizen would and get it at the end of the day, because we can't deny it to them. I understand why NYCCT is upset, and I understand everything behind this. The chancellor has stated that it is his intent to be involved in the negotiation of these contracts going forward. Whenever a college hires a new president, the chancellor feels that it is his prerogative and his legal right to be involved. NYCCT and their attorneys and others have challenged that.
All right, that's all I have then.
Is there a deadline of when this is supposed to be
No.
done?
I have not seen the request. I know that the request came in. I know that triggered, the warning bells, and NYCCT immediately sent out the message to campuses today, to trustees today. I don't know that it was, you have to have this to us by the end of the week or anything like that. Chastity's been out today, so I haven't actually seen it because it didn't come to me.
Just so I'm clear,
And
even
you
though
didn't get-
we appoint
just got the
a
email.
president and we make the contract, it still has to be approved by the state when we appoint a president. That's subject to the approval.
The
of
SUNY
state.
Board of Trustees has the final approval of the president.
Okay,
That is-
so I'm
That
clear.
is correct.
One thing I don't want us to get into it, every time we have negotiations with president, whoever it may be, is that we have to wait for the chancellor to sit down with us, to be involved in those negotiations. I think that's what the concern is.
But every contract has different period of time. We just do a 2-year contract, 3 years. So I mean, for us, for now, it could be someone else's battle to pick. And we can, in my opinion, do you think that there's a necessity for board action about whether we release it or don't release it? Or what would the college norm, is this my understanding, your day-to-day operating decisions, we wouldn't normally run by the trustees. So I don't know what, if the college is looking for some guidance.
I mean, honestly, our job is to comply with the law, and it hasn't become a legal request yet, but it certainly could legitimately become one. And that is, that is your decision. If you want to forbid us from doing it.
So that's something to keep in the back of your mind, and I'm sure it'll be a topic of discussion.
Yeah, my understanding is, the chancellor is interested at this point in new presidents and being involved in the negotiation or in the appointment of new presidents and taking a much more active role than chancellors have in the past. Whether or not he's successful with that, and I understand that NYCCT is preparing to challenge him legally on this, so, and that is appropriate for them to do so. Okay.
I'll set. All right, that's all I have. We'll move on to the president's report. Dr. Tucker-Miller.
Thank you, sir. I'm gonna in no way attempt to steal Arlene's thunder, but there's a video we want to share. I know that trustee Beck has already seen it, so she can leave the room. We had a nice event. We had a really nice event yesterday with, was it yesterday? The days are all, Tuesday, 2 days ago. The days are all becoming one. Where we did in fact have our grand opening for Reggie's Closet, and we wanted to share. We had the Gazette was here and put out a story, and then Channel 10 has also put out.
This was on last night's.
News 10 ABC, your local news leader.
Local College is opening a new thrift store this week, providing free essentials to students and staff.
News 10 ABC's Anthony Kromikowski shows us how it's helping people in need.
In the student success area of the Fulton-Montgomery Community College Library is a walk-in closet. It's the newest addition to the campus, expanding on the free services being offered.
Before this room, the closet was actually a part of the pantry that we have here on campus as well. We all saw that it was getting filled and filled with a lot of bags.
What was once one rack of clothes has now become Reggie's Closet, named after the college mascot. There's more than 500 different items of clothing, from baby sizes to triple XL, and it's all free.
Students just pop in and out to see the items because we are donation-based, so items change really quickly.
There's a limit of 10 pieces a week that anyone in the FMCC community can take home for themselves or family. If a need is still not met, that's when the employees recommend more resources.
If we see someone taking out of clothing that might need extra help, so we implore them to talk to us so we can get them into a local clothing bank so we can help them out even more.
From Monday to Friday, noon to 3 p.m., paid volunteers are ready to help. Reggie's Closet is always accepting donations, and to bring your clothes here, you just have to fill out a form online. And for all that information, head over to news10.com. Reporting in Johnstown, Anthony Kromikowski, News 10 ABC.
And that reporter is also an FMCC alum.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So remember, John, a few years ago, this was the kernel of an idea that we talked about in diversity, equity, and inclusion meetings.
Plant the seed.
Yes. It's come to fruition.
Okay, so in other news, Fulton County this last week approved our the 3-year capital plan for the county, which included our projects for next year. Now, I understand that the county is still working to negotiate the final look of their budget, and there's a possibility that those projects may be pared down or eliminated. I was cautioned of that, but at least, the positive step of, at this point in time, our projects are part of the capital plan, and we hope to move forward with those. Just to remind you, that is, the next phase of paving, and then also some upgrades to our athletics facilities, particularly the gym and the athletic fields. So hopefully they stay in the budget and move forward, and we're able to accomplish those things. Arlene's probably going to tell you about this, but our volleyball team had they went to the national tournament again this year. They were unfortunately lost, but they had another terrific season. This is the 3rd year in a row that they've been regional champs and gone to the national tournament. They were 21-3 this year, so fantastic. Those last 2 losses obviously came at the very end in the national tournament. So we had, a great group of ladies. Many of them came back from last year for more success. We invited them to come to be recognized. The paint is still fresh, so they're going to come next month. Most of them were actually talking more about getting caught up on their schoolwork, which we love to hear. So good news there. We last week, it felt like it was all SUNY all the time. There were a couple of meetings that I attended with the chancellor and with the community college presidents. One thing that has come up is, it's time to talk about enrollment, and I'll share a couple of highlights, I think, with you. So. So SUNY's very happy about, for the 2nd year in a row, we're up in enrollment in every sector. We're cautiously optimistic that that's, a good thing. You'll see community colleges probably had the least gains of all the sectors, but that's okay. Overall, you'll see that the trend for system has been, scoot that over a little bit. We've been relatively, after plummeting during COVID, we've had a slow kind of climb out of that, and you'll see that each of the sectors has seen some gains. Community colleges are the bottom line. This is one thing that 10 years ago we had the bulk of the enrollment sector. That's slowly declined, and it's a whole nother meeting and another set of discussions that we can get into about that, but it's nice to see that everybody's pulling out of that. This is a look at enrollment changes last year to this year, and then on the other side, it's 2 years ago. You'll notice we are sitting in a pretty decent position this year. We had about a 6% gain this year. Over the last 2 years, we've had about a 3% gain. So, we had a little bump, then we had a little dip, and then we're back up again. And then the next slide, I think, is cruise through this one. So first-time enrollment, again, it's for the 2nd year in a row, we've got gains in first-time enrollment. Nationally, first-year enrollment's down 5%. So the fact that each of our sectors is up is a positive, obviously. Again, you'll see the trends going here, where the other sectors are gaining a little bit more over they're stealing our students, if you will. And then you look at first-year enrollment. Here, we happen to have the distinction of having the 2nd highest first-year enrollment gain in the system. And then here we're right there. So, nice to see that this year. These are our early student numbers. They'll change ever so slightly as we go along, but overall, that's a positive.
Out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Why are there some that are like, why are there some that are so big? Either in positives or negatives? Has it been like institutional change or something, or?
So part of the answer to that question has to do with whenever you represent something as a percentage. If you have small numbers, you can exert a big percentage change having, so that's why you're seeing, and honestly, the two that had the largest enrollment gain were were two of the smallest community colleges. And so there is some of that goes on. It paints a pretty picture for SUNY when they're looking at that. So they're expressing it in a way that puts them in the most favorable light. So that said, we're always pleased to have an increase, whether it's double-digit percentage increase or so that, yeah. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
What did we do this year that we didn't do the?
I think there's a combination of things involved with more specific. Historically, we've kind of promoted the college, and over the last couple of years, we've focused on recruiting on more specific program areas. I think our change in philosophy and approach to digital marketing has helped. I think some of the positive press that we've had around some of our programs has helped. Again, I don't want to overstate. We haven't had hundreds of students enrolling over last year. There's, I think, as I recall, there's something like 40 or 50 students this year versus last year. But still, that it is a positive gain for us. So, and I think the further we get out from COVID, the more we'll see things return somewhat to normal, although we never expect them, at least probably in my lifetime, to get back to complete normal. Yeah. Through multiple means. So we have digital promotions that are going out through social media, we purchase packages through the television stations that include some traditional advertisements that only old people like me and Pat are still watching TV, but that includes some digital ads that are focused and targeted toward social media and email campaigns. I think if you have a Google Mail account, you'll often see ads that come up, and we do billboards, we do those kinds of things. And what am I missing, Arlene?
Well, we implemented a new CRM, a customer
Relations
package, so that the technology is being used. So as we get a lead on a student, we can have a communication plan with that student to keep them interested. And, every couple of weeks they get something from us, and until they've finalized their application and they're come to open house and then do their enrollment. So.
Do you have anybody in particular that they do that? No.
We work with a firm. It's actually an alum that helps us with that. We have, the efforts are really spearheaded out of the admissions office, but we do work with, with the buyer group. We also have, I was just looking for this because our website last night won best website, and it also received an international W3 award at the Capital Region Marketing Communication Awards. So they had a ceremony last night at Proctor's, and our website, which I was also going to include in that, we went through the rebranding efforts and changed up our website, which it has much more of a marketing focus, and apparently it's award winning. You're welcome.
Greg, do you ever show those particular slides to the full board of supervisors?
The slides on enrollment, for example?
Yeah.
I would be happy to do so if I were invited.
I'll see if I can arrange that.
Sure.
I think that would be good for the supervisors as a whole to see that.
Okay, so what else was I gonna talk to you about? I'm gonna be filling in for some of the other reports, so I'll probably save the rest for down below.
Okay. We will move on to, college assembly report.
That is in your packet. Senate or the Assembly Chair was unable to be here this evening, so if you have any particular questions or comments about that, I'd be happy to address those.
No questions, we'll move on to, student trustee report with trustee Call.
Let's see, I'm looking at the report. We actually did elect our members for the Senate for the next semester because our president and vice president are graduating this semester. We had a visit from Ruth about her visit with the Middle States people. I mean, that was a positive thing, but other than that, that's basically it. Expect smooth transition to next semester.
Good questions? If not, we'll move on to, foundation report with trustee Gazi.
Thank you. The 17th annual distinguished and fourth annual award of the Holiday Inn, November 7th. We had over 150 people. It was a good gathering. Thanks to the foundation as well as Holiday Inn. They did a great job. And the distinguished alumni awardee, one of them was Janae Baroni, second one Brand Place, and Jenny Olson Fish. And they all got they received a club in the week, and they are going to display it O'Connor Town and Tower Club and Vermont. I'm sorry. Discipline was with a couple, husband and wife, right? In Croatia. We all know them. And then for them, they received a clock statue that they are going to display it in a corner hall as well. Foundation hosted 50 years of soccer players, which we gathered November 2nd, and who came at 11 o'clock. They had a tour of campus, and then they had lunch at the Allen House, and then they went to play. A few of them, lost a few of their players, and they played, and then they concluded the afternoon. They came and we have red appetizer and buffet. And they all received a t-shirt, and we should be thankful to Mr. Kevin Jones, Joe Gardner, coach, as well as Megan Bluesrack, and our Maria, so thank you. For the field, third field, they're going to do it in three different phases. The first phase is going to be for inclusive for the soccer field. The second is going to be for the softball and baseball. This third one, they're thinking about it to be determined. They want to see what kind of field efficiently we need. Last but not least, the foundation annual appeal, they're going to send it out the first week in December, and but Giving Tuesday is on December 3rd, and the foundation is hoping for 100% participation from college colleges for the foundation and for the trustees, all the donation will be sent. With that, I conclude my report, but I don't know, should I mention now or in old business regarding to the Kroger art?
I mentioned it now.
Okay, the Kroger art concert, they are coming to FMCC on December 6th at 7 o'clock. It's going to be free for the student, community people, and at 7 o'clock at Rabbit Theater. And I am sure majority of you, if not all of you, they are so good. And we're trying to inspire the community with that and go on see them in the summertime. It's a very, very nice. I encourage everybody to write in their calendar. It's wonderful. And with that, there's no question.
Any questions for trustee Bazey? Now, we move on to committee reports. Finance Committee with trustee Beck.
You all received a number of the financial supports, which I'm sure you have memorized. And other than that, the biggest news is that the audit field work has been wrapped up just recently, and you'll be presented a report on the audit at the December meeting, I would assume, or not. No, it's an audit. It'll be months until we receive it. So as soon as we receive the audit, then we will be reporting.
Yeah, February. Part of it
Right.
is we have to wait for TRS and ERS to provide their information, and that doesn't happen until.
Don't talk French to me, Dr.
Historically does not provide their information until after the new year, so that once upon a time, we were doing December meetings on the audit. So you were right, but because the state has delayed providing information to us, that has pushed it back later spring, the last few years.
Thank you. That's my report.
Thank you, trustee Beck. Any questions for trustee Beck? If not, we'll move on to buildings and grounds, and with the absence of trustee Landry, I'll have the first to move up.
Thank you, sir. So just a few updates. Again, as I mentioned, the paving is wrapped up and people are able to actually park in the parking lot. They did a nice job. We began the field work on the Student Welcome Center electrical distribution project. That work is currently with the estimator. We expect to have that back right after Thanksgiving so that the scope of work can be developed. And we'll be bringing that forward to the counties for approval to go out to bid. We're anticipating that the actual work won't happen until next summer because of some of the significant lead times for the electrical gear. What we're hearing is, so even if the counties, approve awards in early 2025, it will likely not happen until the summer. But we're glad that that's moving forward. We recently had to address some issues with our original boiler system. But those repairs are complete and things are up and running and people are toasty warm. So that's a positive. And you may recall that earlier in the year, we surplused an international dump truck and we replaced that with a much smaller truck that's easier to use, easier to store, and has greater utility for us. And that was delivered recently, and they're all getting used to it. Hopefully, we don't have to use it because it's not going to snow this year. So that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. We'll move on to academic affairs and
That would be me.
Patrick's sister.
My report's in the packet. I'll answer any questions, and if not, that's my report, and I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
And we'll move on to student affairs with Arlene.
So again, the report is in your packet. I do want to highlight that's not in there is every November I come to you and or you're alerted to the fact that it's International Education Week and this week in November. And once again, Fulton-Montgomery has ranked quite high among other colleges in the state. We are in our they do it by congressional districts. So Congressional District 21, we are number 4. We rank behind Clarkson University, St. Lawrence University, and SUNY Plattsburgh, and then us. So that's pretty cool. And we are also higher than other community colleges that are either in that congressional district or other congressional districts, more than SUNY Adirondack, Herkimer, Hudson Valley, and Schenectady. They estimate through this tool that they have with the Association of International Educators, they estimate that students at FMCC contribute $2.4 million to the economy last year and supported 10 jobs in the area, not only in higher education, but also through their living costs, transportation, housing, food, et cetera. So overall, international students in the US contribute $43.3 billion to the US economy. And in New York State, it was $6.3 billion last year. And we also have a staff member from our admissions office who is in Sweden this week. And she sent some photos. She's recruiting around Sweden and in high schools and at some fairs. And that's a new experience for her. And I'm excited that she's able to do that. In case you're interested, we have about 67 or so international students this year from more than 20 countries. It's a nice, diverse group of students. That's my report.
Do you have any questions, Brian? Not? Thank you. Move on to student affairs, diversity and equity with John.
Thank you. Well, I hope this is in your packet. I sent it, so I've never really looked at a packet, so I'll assume that's there basically. But if you have any questions on some of the activities that we did for last month and what's upcoming, let me know. I think the high point here is that SUNY asked for, and this isn't the annual plan that we do every day or every year. It's just some points they asked for to highlight some of the things we've been doing here. So we've been doing the Pride Society Club has done a really nice job creating safe spaces and creating their own distinct room there, which students have been utilizing. So that's nice to see. The sociology of happiness and health, we highlighted that. That's one I put together with the nursing program, which is really kind of exciting because I read this. I said, this is pretty good. So I'm really glad that I was able to work with them. And the nice part about them is they're really out there in the field. So it sort of brings more of a hands-on approach to it, which is nice. And let's see, what else do we have? Oh yeah, our quote a day calendar. I was there cutting them earlier today. So we putting together our quote a day calendar with a focus on diversity. And finally, the wellness fair really went nicely. And that was nice. And it also engaged the community, which was pretty cool. So they asked for 5, they got 4, because sometimes less is better than more at this point. So any questions?
Will you have the calendars for sale at the next meeting?
Yes.
Is that the
I'm
piece?
really trying to get them out there. It's
That's a piece calendar.
One a day.
The one a day piece. Yeah.
Okay. There's no other questions. John, thank you. We'll move on to accreditation. Dr. Miller.
Thank you. We are out a Middle States liaison again. So whoever was assigned to us that we never met, never reached out to us, is no longer with the commission. And so we were notified that they will be assigning someone new at some point. I attended last week. They had a meeting for presidents and accreditation liaison officers, so I attended that. And they said that their staffing is down a little bit. They're a couple new people to do that. They also, talked about the changes that are happening in Washington and that they'll be closely watching that and seeing what that means. They talked in fairly great detail about the new standards that we're not currently subject to in our self-study, but that are rolling out, and interestingly enough are centered around, each one of them has a diversity, equity, and inclusion component. And so they're probably scratching their heads now to see what's going to happen with that. But They also, so on a more, as it relates to us, our team has now been appointed for the self-study visit in April. They sent the roster and then sent a second roster because people had already dropped out after the first roster. So we're on roster 2, and hopefully we'll be able to hold on to those team members. We are, continuing to refine the draft of the self-study. We have to get that into the commission about 6 weeks before the visit. So we feel like we're on track for that. And we recently appointed a new accreditation liaison officer here. And it occurred to me that I should probably invite him to attend these meetings instead of, you listening to me. So many of you know Dan Town. Dan is our new accreditation liaison officer. We also just appointed Dan as Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, so he'll be joining Pat's team first of the year. Dan Town.
Okay.
That concludes my report.
Any questions for Dr. Truckman? A lot of interesting changes in the upcoming year.
And it will be at the Middle States annual meeting in December, early December. So Dan and Ruth and I will be there. So
We'll move on to personnel with Trustee Schumer, Bethany McGee, Bethany Schumer.
and her mischievous eyes.
It was really good.
A couple new hires. We had, in addition to our staff and buildings, and also Jenna Alston, who was here tonight as our new LPP coordinator. Vacancies, there's a search in progress, and the rest is in your report. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions for Trustee McGee? If not, we'll move on to policy with Trustee Wilson.
I am pleased to report, Mr. Chairman, that I have nothing to report tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. With that, I want to just wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much turkey, stuffing. And entertain motion to adjourn.
I have a question before that.
Yes.
I'm wondering if there's any need for an executive session to be 2 months ago, because I don't think I was here in October, we were advised of an incident that happened at the college that might lead to potential litigation.
Talked about that last month.
Okay,
Executive session.
okay, fine. I just didn't know if anything changed.
There's no follow-up. There's
Oh.
nothing has happened, and we are not, of course, that can change at any minute, but we're not anticipating any.
Then
Okay.
that's my
Motion to adjourn. Motion by Trustee Wilson, seconded by Trustee Beck. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, hearing none. Thank you all for coming.
I know. It's kind of good.